24 podcast, where lifelong friends Dean Legiro and Eric Kuber share their love of all things music and movies. Dean has directed short films and is a music trivia buff. And Eric, trained in audio engineering, brings his extensive knowledge of music and film to the conversation as they discuss, debate, and celebrate their favorite albums, films, and much more.
Good evening.
Nobody's here yet.
Well, we're here, and we're saying hello to who's ever out there.
One person's here. Hello.
There you go.
It is a not so hot Wednesday. We always talk about the weather. I meant to say to Eric, don't talk about the weather, but I'm the one that brought the weather up.
There you go. Wasn't in my head at all.
I'm my own worst enemy. Hello,
Right.
Kelly. How are you?
Hello.
Kerry. How are you?
Carrie.
Sean. Hello.
Sean Grady.
How are you?
The man.
Wow. We've got people to put in the wheel of names.
Let's see. We got 3 so far.
We are bringing the wheel of names back for its triumphant return. Wow. Zach, good evening, sir. Casey Bauer, how are you, man? It's been a while.
Oh, Casey.
Thanks for checking in. Ray Fry, we're gonna get you. Sir. We're gonna get you on an episode, Ray. I'm gonna email you. I meant to email you.
Shawshank. We gotta do it. We gotta do
it. we're gonna do it.
We're
absolutely gonna do it. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in so fast and furiously on this Wednesday evening. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy day, your life, maybe to decompress with us, maybe just to chill. I've got an adult beverage.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Look at that. Look at that Marvel glass. Look at that sweet. Man, that's cool.
Those are the I love the thing.
Yeah.
That's the classic thing that I love.
Yeah. Was that Jack Kirby?
Yeah, I think so.
Art?
No,
Yeah.
No, not Kirby. That might be John Romita or Sal Buscema, one of those guys.
Yeah.
It's like the 70s one. So anyway, this is Crown Royal and Peach, which is much more important than the design on the front.
I have some. I think it's a local rum.
Okay.
From Maryland.
Nice.
Could be Frederick. It's very good. It's very sweet.
Do you have a distillery in town?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a whiskey distillery here. We got rum. I think I'm pretty sure. And,
do they deliver?
And of course, Flying Dog is here. Right on the outskirts of Frederick. So
do they deliver?
They should. Yeah.
Curbside.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So hopefully you've got the beverage of choice. Doesn't have to be adult. It could be child, like a Shirley Temple or Roy Rogers. They're both the same thing. One was targeted towards girls. One was targeted towards guys.
Yep.
The same thing, Grenadine and Sprite or Grenadine and 7-Up. It was to encourage kids to have a cocktail.
Uh-huh. It was always a Coke for me. If I was sitting with adults, I always had a Coke with a cherry in it. There you go. That's how they
a Shirley Temple and then the fake gum cigarettes. I mean, they were priming us for adulthood. Have this fake cocktail, have a fake cigarette, or those cigars, like they were green or yellow,
right?
And they were like really big. It was gum. Yeah, it was gum. So
bubble gum. They had They had the bubble gum cigarettes, but then they made like the hard candy ones, which I hated, full of powder, and you blow on it, like in the powder would like come out like
smoke. I mean, what more do you want from like kids are walking around like, I can't wait to smoke. I can't wait to drink. What else? I can't wait to rob banks. I mean, what?
It just looks cool, man. That was the thing. Wow.
Elizabeth Berg, how are you?
Hi.
We're gonna throw a little promo her way. Elizabeth Berg has a great YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Called the Bookworm Book Corner, where she reviews books. She reads the book and then she gives a nice overview. She doesn't kill you with it. She doesn't reveal everything, and she'll tell you if there's spoilers. So if you would, she's on YouTube. Go find Elizabeth's channel. I subscribed, and when she comes out with a new video, I pop it on. I think on her first or second video, she actually drank out of a 33 podcast mug.
That's right. So we're returning the favor. Yeah.
Giving her big league chew. Right. Another thing, instead of chewing tobacco, it's like, here's gum. So you could instead of dipping.
That's right.
I don't know. We're
lived in interesting times, man. We're a different breed.
We're already off on a tangent, and we haven't even started yet.
Yeah.
Like we haven't even started.
We're just talking about gum. We're talking about candy cigarettes.
So look at that. Dwight is checking in. This is what you call a mic. Clay's close. Good night. That's what's called a mic drop. That's what's called a mic drop.
Are the Mets on tonight, Dwight? Are you watching the ball game? Or is that what's going on?
So hello, Vision Quest. Case closed. Good night. That's all you need. That is all you need out of life. Thank you, Dwight, for
showing
starting us off. We have resuscitated the Dwight wheel. The Dwight Burke wheel is actually named after him because of his conquest, his seemingly unstoppable streak of wins. Seconded only by Sean Grady. I think Sean is like the second most.
Sean's great at the trivia. So, I mean, we're, yeah.
Hey, John DeGoog, how are you?
Hey.
How are you, John?
Johnny, how you doing?
We got a crew here tonight. I'm loving
this. Yes, we do.
I am loving this. Thank you, everybody. Just what I needed. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. The 3324 Podcast Live edition. Mm-hmm. We'll be talking about the 80s greatest soundtrack. But before we do that, we need to shill for our new episode that's coming out tomorrow.
Yes, we do. And it's rather exciting.
Let me find it. Let me find this. Come and get me. Come and get me. Come and get me. Hang on a second. Let's get that going. We'll get that going. And we stacked the guests for this episode. We absolutely brought everybody in. Tomorrow's episode is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Look at that. Look at that picture, man.
What a great photo, right? Isn't that an awesome photo?
Awesome. Yeah, look at that, man. And the $1 million smile on Karen Allen right there. Yep, there they are.
Can't beat it. So we recruited Jerry Sullivan, making his second podcast appearance. This was one of his favorites, so he wanted to jump in. Christy Cuomo, who's been a frequent collaborator and guest, and of course Sean Grady. Mm-hmm. We could not do Raiders without Sean Grady, so we rounded all of our own Raiders of the Lost Ark together to celebrate. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs. It was a really fun episode. We didn't try and take things too seriously, which is some of my favorite episodes when we just kind of riff and have those fun conversations. So tomorrow, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Check it out. Please share it. It was a lot of fun, Sean. It's always a great episode when we get a bunch of people in a room and just kind of have a great time. So,
and I will apologize beforehand because I was rather enthusiastic, I think, about this one. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a huge Raiders fan.
Huge Raiders fan.
You people down there in Florida that are with us tonight, Casey Bauer.
Not the Oakland Raiders.
No, but
okay.
Yeah, so I was a little excited about this one. So I think hopefully I wasn't too.
I don't think Karen Allen wasn't in the Poseidon Adventure. She would have been a little young for that, wouldn't she?
Maybe the remake. Perhaps.
There was a remake? Oh, you mean Beyond the Poseidon, whatever it was called?
No, there was an actual remake.
Really?
Yeah, and then I think it was the 90s. Might have been. Pretty sure it was the 90s. Yeah, they remade it. I don't know if that was. No, she was not in the original. She would have been, really, really young.
Yeah, that was 1972.
If I'm not mistaken, her first movie was
Animal House?
I think so. Yeah. Yep. So, well, there you go.
Nope, she was not. Her as Ari said, her film debut was Animal House.
Animal House.
Raiders is a killer. Raiders is a killer. It was. Yeah. We were having a lot of fun with it. Earthquake, Poseidon Adventure, Towering Inferno. That was the era of the disaster film, where you would get Paul Newman, Inferno. Dean Martin, and Steve McQueen doing these films.
Was not apparently. I guess Paul Newman was not a fan of Towering Inferno.
Airport.
I watched that great documentary on HBO Max about Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. I highly recommend it to anyone who's interested. Really, really good. Well done. But yeah, that was just to him. That was just like
paycheck.
He was embarrassed by that film. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's good to know because I enjoyed it back in the day. I never saw it in the theater, but it was one of those movies that it had a great cast. I mean,
well, that was those movies where they stacked them.
That's right.
Like Earthquake was like Heston and George Kennedy and like all the right. And Airport was like Dean Martin. They got like all the luminaries of the of the era.
It's almost like Battle of the Network Stars.
Or almost like an episode of Love Boat, episode of Love Boat with a disaster.
That's right.
Like just trot like Ava Gardner and trot all these people out and have all these subplots and everything. So anyway, what is that? That's spam, I think. We're not going to put that on there.
Carrie's like, do an episode about it.
Yes.
Are you talking about the documentary or one of the disaster films?
Yeah, that's spam.
That's spam. That looks like spam. Yeah.
Well, welcome aboard, spammer. That's okay.
We don't need any technical glitches tonight.
We will. You can spam us. It just won't show up there. So what we're here to talk about tonight is the greatest soundtracks of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Eric, just before we went on, said, why the 80s?
Yeah.
He didn't even know. I just came up with the subject, and he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then decides at 7:59 to say, why the 80s?
Yeah.
And I said, well,
we have a very good, and there's a very good reason why the 80s, sure. Yep.
I had a good answer, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
When you think about it, the 80s was probably the last decade of music soundtracks that used popular or rock or whatever kind of music, pop music, whatever you want, but original music on the soundtrack. When you got to the 90s, and Eric brought up a good point, when you got to the 90s, you started getting stuff like Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, other movies that started using more so, I mean, it was done before, but more heavily reliant on existing, music that was out before.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, but you had like savants like Quentin Tarantino and Martin Scorsese who would really dive deep into these wells, and Cameron Crowe would use like alternate takes on like a famous Bob Dylan song, or they would really try to find the most obscure kind of stuff for their soundtracks. But it was still stuff that had been made before, not specifically for the soundtrack.
So it seemed like in the 80s that was like the cottage industry of having these popular movies and having popular artists. So there was obviously plenty of soundtracks back in the day with pop music, but not people you didn't really hear of. Mm-hmm. Now in the 80s you started getting stuff like, for instance, let's kick it off.
John DeGood, best decade ever. Yeah,
best decade ever. That's why. There you go. I mean, we'll give it to him. That's it. Best decade ever. Show's over. Thanks everybody. See you in 2 weeks for trivia.
But why say more, right? Why? Yeah.
Yeah. So something like Footloose.
Yeah.
Right.
One of my favorites.
And we'll probably end up talking about the king of 80s soundtracks. If you don't know, who the king of 80s soundtracks is, put it into the chat. That's our first trivia question of the evening. Who is the king of 80s music soundtracks, pop music? Put it into the chat. But Footloose, right? It was a modest success. It wasn't like a blockbuster. Yeah. And there's the winner. Kenny Loggins was the king of 80s music soundtracks. He was in Caddyshack. He did Top Gun. He did Footloose. He did Over the Top. For some reason, this guy was like the Phil Collins of soundtrack music, of popular soundtrack. He didn't score music, right? He wasn't like that type of a composer. He just seemed to have a knack for having catchy, like one-off songs that they could put in these movies, right? Like I'm All Right, but with Caddyshack, and then Footloose, which is another catchy one, and then Danger Zone in Top Gun, and Caddyshack too.
That's right. Now you wonder, like, how did this come about? I mean, the record companies who are associated, the people who are in charge of putting a soundtrack together for a film, do they approach these artists and say, hey, you need to write an original composition for it? Or is it a song that really didn't find a home on any other record for an artist? That happened a lot as well on these kinds of things.
I tend to think in the stuff that I saw, I tend to think that a lot of these soundtrack like movies had songwriters writing songs for it, and then they would get popular artists to record it. Mm-hmm. So like with Almost Paradise, like Ann Wilson and Mike Reno and stuff. So that would be written by a professional songwriter, and they say, okay, well, who can we get? Right, who's popular at the time to get her do that. So I think I mean, obviously there was some original stuff as well, but I think you saw a lot of that of kind of pairing a songwriter and then who's a popular artist at the time, and let's.
It's very interesting having those different levels, of like creativity, and going back to the days of like people writing songs for other people and having artists come on and do it because they need that great voice to sing that song. They're not going to go with the composers, Burt Bacharach or whoever it is, Carol Bayish Sager is not going to come in and do it herself. I mean, they're going to get the best of the best.
And at that point, Kenny Loggins was instantly recognizable. Kenny Loggins was instantly recognizable at that point because he was also popular in the early 80s. He had a string of solo hits. And it's kind of interesting because it's kind of like solo hits, but then as these other movies are coming out, he's popping off these singles, kind of keeping him front of mind with everybody, like through Caddyshack to Top Gun and beyond. So it's kind of an interesting like cottage industry that he made. Yeah. Kat Kelly, welcome, Kat. He's also a pretty cool guy.
Hey, Kat.
She met him in a former life.
Oh, okay.
See that?
Kenny Loggins.
Actually, I've got a story about Kenny Loggins too.
Okay.
Burt Rackracker.
Casey. Burt Rack.
Okay, so I have a Kenny Loggins story. Back in a previous life, much like Kat, in a previous life, I used to work at a pizzeria. I used to deliver pizza and make pizza and do all that kind of stuff. And in the strip mall that I worked in, there was an athletic shoe store. And this was back in the 80s, so running. I wasn't into the running thing. It was just like whatever. And the owner of the shop used to come in all the time. He used to come around, get a slice of pizza, this, that, and the other thing. His name was Dave. His name was Dave Loggins, actually. Turns out it was Kenny Loggins' brother.
Really? That's wow.
Owned the shoe store, and he actually gave me a pair of shoes. I was so destitute at one point that he had like somebody brought back a pair of shoes, and he came in and he said, hey, you want these shoes? He was just as hippie-ish as his brother was. He kind of looked like he was older, but just as kind of that California feeling type thing. Yeah. His brother Dave. You've got the full Kelly clan tuned in. Well, welcome everybody.
Hello.
To the Wednesday night edition of the 3324 podcast. We've got a pretty full crowd. You know what? They came for the wheel. They came for the wheel, so we're going to let them know.
I don't know.
We dragged out the wheel. Eric actually got the WD-40, sprayed it on a couple of primary gears to make sure that it works. We're going to be giving away 2 prizes tonight. They will be Blu-ray movies. We're going to give away a Blu-ray copy of Top Gun and a Blu-ray copy of Beverly Hills Cop, which are 2 of the premier soundtracks of the 80s. And when I say that, I also mean that the music is featured prominently in both of those movies.
That's right.
Oh, here's another one. There's Susan, friends with his nephew Colin Loggins in high school.
Wow.
See? So that's
look at the stories that are coming in, man. That's awesome.
Why did we not try and get Kenny Loggins on this show? we didn't even try.
Yeah.
We didn't even try. Who would have thought this is like the 6 degrees of Kenny Loggins?
Well, for me, it's Footloose all the way. Me and my sister Shania, we love.
Kenny kept his bro working with feet. didn't even put him on the gravy train. You have to work. Not only that, but you have to go to New York and work and open. It was called Second Soul. Was the name of the shoe store.
Okay.
Very clever.
Well, you have a lot of interesting stories. You met Tommy Shaw. I think you were delivering pizza one time.
Pizza to Tommy Shaw.
There, it's Tommy Shaw. Boom. Yeah. Ace Frehley used to live in Ardsley, right next door to us.
I delivered pizza to Ace Frehley.
Yeah. Yep.
It didn't help. All these minor league connections.
No, it didn't.
did nothing. Tommy Shaw
here's
did
your
not.
Tip. Get out of my face. There you go.
Tommy Shaw didn't help me whatsoever. But again, he was in Damn Yankees at the time, so I really was not too thrilled with him.
There you go. Okay,
maybe it was mutual. Maybe he felt my attitude. He's like, this guy's got something. Maybe they didn't even eat the pizza. Maybe they thought maybe this guy might have spit in the pizza because he didn't like Damn Yankees. Because he made a sticks comment. So it could be. I don't know. Wow. Anyway, let's get going. Let's get going with this. I saw my sister earlier today, and she's like, "What's the show about?" And I said, "Movie soundtracks." And she rattled one off. She put it in the chat before, and then she's like, "Don't steal it." So we're gonna honor that. And I actually have a copy of the soundtrack that she's talking about here. And I've got a trivia question to go along with it too. Let's see if you can get the trivia question. But here's the soundtrack, and this is one of the premiere soundtracks too. This is one of those iconic films that really highlight like a particular song. Everybody knows like The Power of Love from this soundtrack because it's figured so prominently in it. But there was a few other prominent artists on this soundtrack.
That's right.
And here's the trivia question. We're going deep. Okay? We're going to go deep. Here's the trivia question. There were 2 other artists on this soundtrack. And coincidentally, we have done individual episodes about these 2 artists. Who would like to take a shot at the 2 artists that we have done? So they're solo artists. It's not a group. It's solo artists. There are 2 solo artists that have songs on this that we have actually done episodes about. If you want to take a crack at it and put it in the chat on the Back to the Future soundtrack, everybody knows the Huey Lewis Back in Time was like their minor hit. Power of Love was everywhere. It's got that unmistakable keyboards. Huey Lewis and the
everywhere.
News. No, not the News.
What was it? PLJ? Oh my God!
Yeah,
95?
Power 95 of Love.
Power 95. Oh my God! When they put that in there, I'm like, oh, I hate this.
Thank you, Sean. So two artists that have songs on the Back to the Future soundtrack.
And both these artists, I'll go even another hint is that they both were in groups.
They were, but they're solo.
They were, but in this particular case, they're both solo.
There's a good guess, Chuck Berry. No, we did not do an episode about Chuck Berry, but maybe we will. That's not a bad idea. Now we're getting some ideas. But who did the featuring The Power of Love? But they weren't the only ones. They weren't the only ones. Who else? We'll give you another couple seconds. Maybe they're like, oh God, this is too obscure. It's too obscure.
you actually asked a hard trivia question, Dean.
Well, nothing's on the line.
You always it's on me for asking.
There's no points on the line for this. That's why.
Okay. All right.
All right. Marion Berry. No. It's your cousin Marvin Berry. Listen to this.
That's very good, Kerry. That's very good.
Let's see. We've got Peter Gabriel as a guest. That's a good guess. He was on a classic soundtrack of the 80s, right?
Yes, he was.
Say Anything in Your Eyes, which we did talk about. So, Sean, you're on the right track. We've got we've got Lindsey Buckingham. That's a good guess. That's an interesting guess as well. I don't know what song he would have on a soundtrack, but The Cars is not a solo act, but that's fine. That's a good guess as well. We should maybe do an episode about The Cars.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let me. I'll tell you right now. Somebody has guessed one of the artists correctly so far.
Yep.
We'll just give it away. We got a lot to talk about. We're not going to waste everybody's time. It was Lindsey Buckingham had one song on here. Not Phil Collins. Phil Collins was everywhere, Sean. So that was a low risk answer because Phil Collins was everywhere.
Not entirely wrong.
He didn't have a song.
He didn't have a song, but
he
does play on the song.
Yes, he does play on the song. So you get 50%.
And he produced the album for this artist.
So it was Eric Clapton.
It was Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton and Lindsey Buckingham also had songs on this soundtrack album, which is a really neat thing. You do actually hear them in the movie, albeit very low and very small snippets. Lindsey Buckingham is when Marty McFly wakes up in the morning and his song is playing on the clock radio.
Town. Yep.
Time Bomb Town, and then Heaven is One Step Away is playing when Marty returns from the 50s into the future. And there's like this old bum like sleeping on a bench, and he's got like a radio playing it. So
that's right.
Yep. Yeah, Sean, studio wanted Huey Lewis to write the theme to Ghostbusters. He declined. The theme song sounds like I Want a New Drug. And I'll go you one further. Ray Parker ended up settling out of court because Ray Parker heard what Huey Lewis was doing, which would become I Want a New Drug. Ray Parker heard that. Magically, the Ghostbusters theme sounds very, very much like I Want a New Drug. Huey Lewis did sue him and settle out of court. Mm-hmm. And then I think Ray Parker got mad because there was supposed to be like a non-disclosure agreement, and Huey Lewis spoke about it. He didn't speak specifics, but then I think Ray Parker re-sued him. So more information you don't need. If you're just joining us, welcome aboard. We're giving away two prizes tonight. We're giving away the Blu-ray of Top Gun, which is one of the greatest movie soundtracks from the 80s. Oh my God, it doesn't get much more 80s than Take My Breath Away and Playing with the Boys when they're playing volleyball. And
Top Gun's hot right now with the sequel, Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun is hot?
Yep, it's a hot commodity right now. So
and then
original is getting some. Yeah.
Hello, Beth, and then we're also going to be giving away a copy of Beverly Hills Cop on Blu-ray as well. You can't go wrong with that as well. Mm-hmm. Those are two great ones. You can type in your choices whenever you want. You don't have to wait. We're going to talk about stuff, and then we'll just divert. We will just take a U-turn. So, I've got another trivia question. Yes, we can see you. Hello.
Oh, you can see me.
I've got another Vision Quest. Dwight already did the mic drop. He said Vision Quest. That's all. Bye, and he left.
Yeah.
He just walked out. He just left the thing. Amadeus, does that count? It's not. I don't know if Amadeus counts.
It's more score than I think.
They used his music, but they used it to score the film.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be on the bubble. That's gonna be on the bubble, I think. Mm-hmm. I love the score. I have it here on vinyl. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if Amadeus would do it. Oh, okay. Susan, you just took my trivia question.
Uh-oh. I've done that a couple of times.
Here's I'm not going to put it. Well, it's people will see it in the chat, but my question was, what was the biggest selling movie soundtrack of the 80s? And it was Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. That
Prince, the soundtrack to Purple Rain, and that was all original music.
It is not only one of the great soundtracks, but one of the great albums of all time. Especially by Prince. I mean, that is a classic.
It brought him into the forefront. Like Little Red Corvette in 1999 kind of set the table. Mm-hmm. And then when the Purple Rain film came out, and the soundtrack, it just kind of he exploded. He literally exploded. And that sold 13 million copies. Since Susan already got the question right before I asked it, let's move to the second one. What is the second highest selling movie soundtrack of the 80s? And there we go.
There we go.
Dirty Dancing was the second highest selling soundtrack. You're answering questions before I can get them. Dirty Dancing sold 11 million copies.
Yep. And Dirty Dancing is a great hybrid because it has both songs from the 60s, needle drop type songs, but also half the album.
But new stuff.
But new stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
which is kind of odd, especially at the end when the big dance is there. Nobody puts Baby in the corner.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Swayze goes over and puts on a 45, but it's a new song. It's I've Had the Time of My Life. And
it's rather long too. That's a long 45.
It is, but how did he get popular music back in the 50s? Everything else was kind of, except for She's Like the Wind and Hungry Eyes, but everything else was older music. But then at the end, he puts on a 45 of a new song.
Kelly is sitting here next to me, and she's giving me the stink eye because this is one of her favorite films, one of her favorite soundtracks. So
it's just
she always, I have to say, it takes place in the 60s. And yet these songs sound like 80s songs, and it's like, how did that happen? Like what?
Yeah, it's got the keyboard. It's got the 80s keyboards.
That Roland DX7 had going on.
We're picking nits, but we're having fun with it. It does not detract. You know what? It makes that scene just so much better when he jumps off the stage and they're kind of walking forward, dancing.
Fantastic.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That's a great scene.
It does it. And Jerry Orbach is like, he's looking around like,
he's
what's
actually
going on?
My favorite part of the movie. This is not a tragedy. The faces he makes, and he's so great in it. Because he takes it so seriously.
Nobody puts Baby in the corner. Big Chill in The Commitments, right? My sister said Carrie put the Commitments, which was kind of an anomaly. That film came out, and people, that was mainly older songs, but done not original artists, right? It was about a band,
right?
kind of coming together in Ireland, it was Ireland or Scotland.
It was Ireland.
Ireland, coming together and singing, about how they play in the bars and go through and sing stuff. So that was an interesting hybrid of old music, but not using the original artist and re-recording them. Mm-hmm. Right. So that was interesting. Sean says he's in for a Dirty Dancing episode.
Oh, okay.
All right. We're going to Sean, you're on for it then.
Well, if we're doing Dirty Dancing, Kelly's definitely joining us with that.
There we go. So, we're not only are we giving you content, we're scheduling episodes live on the air. We're just scheduling stuff right away. For everybody that's here, just a little shilling that we're going to do. Tomorrow's episode, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So please, this is a blast. We had Sean Grady, Christy Cuomo, Jerry Sullivan making his triumphant second appearance. Absolutely one of our favorite films. We waited a long time to get to it, but check that one out tomorrow. Share it with everybody. I don't know I never got to say it on our episode, Eric. Mm-hmm. I don't know anybody that doesn't like that film.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't like Star Wars. I don't like the sci-fi. I don't like this. I don't like that. I never heard anybody that said I didn't like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders, I mean, even if
it wasn't your favorite film, even if it wasn't your favorite.
At the very least, I've heard people say like, "Oh, I was dragged to see that movie. I've seen it but yet they would say, "Oh, I've seen it 5 times though in the theater." Like even if it's like, "Oh well, I'm so sick of," implying that they're sick of the movie, but yet they went back to see it 5 times. Yeah. Why is that? You know what I mean? So
Judgment Night wasn't that a 90s film?
Judgment Night.
If I'm thinking, is that the one with Emilio Estevez and Cuba Gooding Jr.? Is that the Judgment Night you're thinking about, Kat?
I don't know.
I think so. Ridgefield Playhouse is playing it, 35th anniversary.
Leave it to Kevin to find something so obscure.
Casey
to really
saw it
dig the well.
Casey saw it at the Tampa Picture Show.
So Dean, what's one of yours? I mean, what do you got?
When we did the Beverly Hills Cop episode, we spent some time talking about that soundtrack. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why we want to give that Blu-ray away, because it was like hit after hit in that movie, and the music was so well integrated, and it was a cross section of music. Mm-hmm. It was Pointer Sisters, it was Patti LaBelle, and it was Glenn Frey. It was just and Axel, Harold Faltermeyer with the Axel Foley score, which was a popular song in and of itself. So I really and I remember when that film came out, people were playing the soundtrack. I remember I was, when we were in Explorers.
Yeah, that's like one of the
people just playing it.
Is that not one of the only pieces of actual score music that became a hit? Harold Faltermeyer's Axel F. That's score right there. But it was a hit. It was a single. It was a hit single.
Yeah,
I remember.
It was,
or at least it got a lot of airplay, as I recall.
It did. Yeah, it might not have been like it might have been released as a single. They were releasing everything. Neutron Dance. The Heat Is On. New Attitude from Patti LaBelle. A lot of great stuff. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about my favorite soundtrack album, I think it's timely that we talk about this. It ties in with a very unfortunate passing this week of Olivia Newton-John. Everybody on our Facebook group was posting tributes to her. Everybody was sharing memories. I didn't know. I thought Olivia was like something that I loved and Eric loved. It was. I didn't realize how many people really because she could be in the 70s. Oh, she's kind of vanilla and she's kind of really light pop, but so many people really loved Olivia Newton-John, and I didn't realize it until I saw the feed on our Facebook group. I didn't even end up posting anything because everybody was posting tributes.
Well, come on, what's not to like? She had such an angelic voice. She was beautiful. And she
had the number one hit of the 80s.
When you're a young kid in the 70s, man, you see her on TV doing she would come on like a variety show with John Denver. She did, Fly Away and that kind of stuff. She was one of my crushes and then of course to see her in Grease, and then it's like, whoa, what is she like? I remember when before the movie came out, they had the poster on the wall of some store or whatever, and they had her in the hot pants. Yeah, and the heels and I'm like, whoa,
Nelly, Nelly, pull back, pull it back.
I was like, okay, then, there we go,
And then in the 80s, she would, she kind of parlayed that into, she actually had the biggest selling single of the 80s, Olivia Newton-John, with Physical. The song Physical was the biggest selling single of the 1980s. Not talking about album. Bad was the biggest selling album, but Physical If you remember when that song came out, everybody was going to the gym or dressing in workout clothing. Yeah. Physical was just a gigantic thing. So I have to go with, okay, does anybody want to put in the chat what my favorite soundtrack is going to be?
I mean, come on, people. We know this.
What's going to be my favorite soundtrack?
I know Kat knows this for sure because she posted as much the other day on Facebook.
I'm opening up another Crown Royal Peach. Dean's favorite 80s movie soundtrack. Let's see. We've got one guess.
The bell. I hope you have the bell at the ready. There it is. It is.
You just gave it away.
Thank you, Kat. There it is.
La Bamba. Yep. What? Flash Gordon is it? That's a good Dwight. That's a good guess.
It's a good guess.
That is a very
one of my
good guess,
favorites.
But no. Yeah. Not Blues Brothers either. We're gonna go with my favorite movie soundtrack is from one of the worst films ever made. Right. I mean the
Oh, don't say that. Don't say because I know
Solar
Kat's
Babies.
a big fan.
Yeah, but you have to be objective. It wasn't a great film.
No, it's not a great film, but it's so bad it's good. You know,
we've got a couple of Xanadu's.
Ah, there's Mark.
We got Solar Babies.
Solar.
and it absolutely can be nothing other than Xanadu featuring Electric Light Orchestra and Olivia Newton-John.
Show that back cover.
How could you not love the combination? This is like Reese's. This is like you got your chocolate and my peanut butter. You got my peanut butter and your chocolate. This is like Olivia Newton-John and ELO. And Olivia Newton-John holding the ELO logo. I mean, what more could I ever want out of my life?
That's fantastic. That is one of the greatest back covers of all time.
Yes.
To put that
the beauty of this soundtrack is you have an Olivia side, right? So there's Olivia Newton-John side, and then you get an ELO side, which is really nice. And then at the end, you've got like the ultimate team up of Olivia Newton-John and Electric Light Orchestra, which when I had always heard that, when I heard Xanadu, I'm like, even back then, I'm like, she should have joined ELO. Like, they should have done more stuff together because she was such a perfect fit for that type of music. Like he
says it's perfect. Yeah,
he wrote perfect music, and then putting Olivia Newton-John on there. What more do you want out of his soundtrack?
One of his earliest, collaborations with another artist, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
major collaboration. That was like a big thing. So I'm going with Xanadu. Of course. Plus, you've got on the Olivia, just some education on the Olivia Newton-John side. You've got Suddenly, which is with Cliff Richard.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Dancin', which oddly enough is Olivia Newton-John and the Tubes, which the Tubes was one of the most subversive bands of the 70s and 80s.
You talk about symmetry, man. That song is the way it's put together. It is fantastic. That's probably one of my favorite tracks.
Whenever You're Away with Me is a duet with the late Gene Kelly, which Xanadu was his last film. So I don't think you can find a more perfect soundtrack. Eric, what about yours? What's yours?
My favorite soundtrack is actually we did an episode on it as one of our favorite films. And
can I guess?
Yeah, you can guess.
I think I know what it is.
I think let's see if anybody else could guess. And we just did an episode on it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's not my guess then.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna say Breakfast Club.
Nope.
Oh,
no. It's kind of odd. Okay, it is. It is definitely a soundtrack, but on the other hand, it was a major release for the band as well. So,
I did the episode.
We did the episode.
I was there.
Yes, you were. It was one of our favorites. We were shedding tears over this episode. Come on now.
I'm drawing a blank. I am.
Mr. Mom, there you go.
Last Waltz was 77.
Oh.
We got another guess for Flash Gordon, but we didn't do Flash Gordon.
We did not. But what did we do?
Oh, Highlander.
Yeah, it's a little album called "A Kind of Magic" by Queen,
all right.
And
that's a good choice
from Highlander in it, and it's a fantastic.
Plus, it's got One Vision was from Iron Eagle, so actually it's a hybrid.
There you go.
It's double soundtrack.
That's right. So
must be against all odds. Which is
but ironically enough, Peter Gabriel was on that soundtrack. So was Stevie Nicks. So that's a great soundtrack in itself. Mike Rutherford from Genesis is on that.
Was on there as well.
Believe it or not, and he's singing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow.
So that's quite the soundtrack there. Yeah. There's some other great artists on there as well. But
yeah, I thought it was going to be the Breakfast Club, because that was the whole we talked about that on our Breakfast Club episode with John Hughes. Yeah. When he was putting out all those teen dramedies, he was sourcing contemporary artists at the time. So you would see like Psychedelic Furs and Wang Chung, Simple Minds. Like a lot of these artists were not very big, but they broke big because of the one or two songs they would have on a soundtrack. Yeah. And John Hughes was I don't know if he was a big proponent, but it was masterful, because you got that song "If You Leave," right, by OMD. Another, wasn't that from St. Elmo's Fire or Pretty in Pink?
Pretty in Pink. Yep.
St. Elmo's Fire by John Parr.
Yeah. Yeah.
That guy.
Yep.
So John Hughes was I guess a champion or an advocate for some of these 80s artists. He's strictly 80s. The Charlie Sexton Beat So Lonely, that was in Some Kind of Wonderful.
Yep. That's a good one.
So there was that whole other way of discovering music, which was kind of interesting too, right? You don't really think about it.
Kate Bush, who's all over the place right now. Yeah. That's that song in She's Having a Baby at the very end. That's a heartbreaking song, but it's nonetheless it's a great choice. But of course, nothing more iconic than Simple Minds with
Don't You Forget About Me. Yep.
Which is, I mean, the song is just so.
It became.
Come on! It
became like the theme. It became the anthem. It became an anthem for the 80s. Apocalypse Now, 1970 what?
79.
79. Sorry.
Yeah.
Lost Boys. How about Lost Boys? There's an 80s classic.
Yeah. Roger Daltrey doing Elton John. That song, "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me."
Yeah, you had In Excess on that. You had Echo and the Bunnymen on the Lost Boys soundtrack. Yeah. Lou Gramm on the Lost Boys soundtrack. Anybody know who Tim Capello is? I think it was just his birthday recently. I think we put a post. No, I did. No, it was the anniversary of Lost Boys. Does anybody know who Tim Capello is? Tim Capello is the sax guy from Lost Boys.
Oh, there you go. With the sexy sax man.
Yeah, with the guy that's buff. Right? He used to tour with Tina Turner. Tim Capello. Yeah. He was just
best vampire movie ever, The Lost Boys. Yeah. And they're trying to remake it. No, we don't need that.
Tim Capello. We gotta pull up a picture of Tim Capello. Once you see Tim Capello, you will remember him. Let's see. Let's share our screen for some Tim Capello love.
Oh, we used to joke about this guy all the time whenever we watch it. It's just he's so ridiculous, but effective.
Mr. Tim Capello.
There he is.
Baby oil up. He was actually a saxophone player, so he wasn't like a
right. He was true blue.
It.
No, he's legit. Yeah. He's absolutely legit. But,
he wasn't miming it, but this guy was buff. He worked out and he was a sax player. I think he went on tour with Tina Turner after this. Known for his shirtless saxophone playing. So if you want to see more of Tim Capello, just watch The Lost Boys. Absolutely. Best scene in cinema. Casey has said it. And Kat Kelly's giving us a little joke there. Kevin likes his brother Acapello.
Oh, here we go. Kevin with his dad jokes.
Now Carrie's asking Casey, what about Interview with the Vampire? Is that better than Lost Boys? Different film, different vibe.
No? They're remaking that into a series, actually.
He can kick Kenny G's butt. You better believe. Are you kidding? Anybody can kick Kenny G's butt, but Tim Capello can kick Kenny G's butt while he's playing.
I wonder if he gave Rob Lowe lessons for St. Elmo's Fire when Rob Lowe was pretending to play sax there.
Maybe he did it for Mike Love,
too. He had the hair, right? He had the same hair. Yeah. Rob Lowe was sporting that hair and the earrings, so that's the vibe they were going for.
Risky Business. Is another 80s classic with the soundtrack,
it is.
Right? I mean,
yep.
I'm sorry, my earpiece fell out. I'm terrible.
But I don't know.
Just to get back to the best vampire movie, it's Fright Night.
Yeah.
You talk about 80s. That's all.
You talk about 80s vampire movies. Yeah, that's Fright Night for us.
Best 80s or 90s. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
Who was a Westchester native? Tim Capello? Yeah. All right.
I'm not surprised.
I'll go with it. All right, let's go. Let's get here. We got Risky Business. That was another one that made old time rock and roll a cottage industry.
Yeah, but
hit.
did that have original songs on it though? I don't know. I don't think so. I know In the Air Tonight was on there. There was
so that was all sourced.
Tangerine Dream did the score. I know that.
Yeah, it looks like it was all mostly source stuff. Although Jeff Beck was on After the Fall. Yeah, that was existing music.
Mm-hmm.
Tim C. Oh, who? Tim Curry?
Tim C.
Sure. I must
Tim
have missed
Capello.
it. I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Tim Capello.
I'm losing it. Oh, listen, for everybody that's joined us,
Royal is starting to hit him.
It's starting to kick in. We are giving away 2 prizes tonight. We'll give away 1 copy of Top Gun, which we haven't really talked about the score, but and on Blu-ray, and we're going to give away a copy of Beverly Hills Cop on Blu-ray. And I'm seeing advertisements all over Facebook for Beverly Hills Cop 4 on Netflix. That it is happening.
Yeah. It is.
I'm not sure. I never saw 2. And I never saw the third one.
I don't think I ever saw the third one, but I know the third one was supposed to be horrible, absolutely horrible. But the second one was decent.
Yeah,
yeah, had Bridget Nielsen in it. Everybody came back.
John Landis directed it. Yeah. Okay, we've got a question. Coming in, a trivia question from Ray Fry. Was Everybody Wants to Rule the World already popular before Real Genius came out, or debuted in the movie? That's a good question. Real Genius was good with the popcorn at the end and they shoot the laser into the house.
I'm gonna say it MTV, the video, I think, is what made it. I remember distinctly that video.
Yeah, but when did that come out?
It was 85, right? That's when the album came out.
Real Genius came out before that though, didn't it?
Did it?
Real Genius came out in 85 as well.
Okay.
Good question, Ray.
That is a very good question.
I think it's what's called an imponderable. I'm not sure if we actually know the answer. I'm going to go with Eric, though. I remember it from the music video. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. That's what I'm saying. It's an imponderable. I think it was.
It's just
my exposure. My exposure was the MTV music video.
It could be just one of those happenstances that it wasn't specifically maybe written for the film, but it just happened to be something that they grabbed at that, I don't know, at the last minute or something. I don't know. Not sure on that one. I don't know. It's happening from time to time. I mean, popular songs. Yeah, I mean, Kat is asking about Revenge of the Nerds. Had a decent soundtrack. It was mostly unknowns.
Yeah. The only thing you need to know about music in Revenge of the Nerds is the talent show at the end. Do 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 do. And then they're dressed like Devo playing the keyboards, and then Timothy Busfield's playing.
Everybody clap your hands.
And Timothy Busfield's playing the violin. Worms are. And he's rapping. The exactly. Oh my god! I was dying when I saw that. I saw that in the theater. I was dying. We saw
that like 3 times. We kept going back to see that damn thing.
I was dying during the talent show. Was just the funniest thing ever. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, "What is that? What's all that noise? What's that noise?" And everyone's like rushed over to the stage, and they ended up winning. The
whole movie was
Sean, fantastic. My friends and I played the Breakin' soundtrack cassette all the time when it came out. Yeah. You know what? That's kind of like Xanadu, right? Xanadu was a musical, so Xanadu almost cheated, right? Because it was a musical, so you had to have music in it. You had to have something there. Breaking is the same type of thing about rap music and breakdancing. So you have to have that in the movie because that's what it's about. How could you not have it, right? Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because like something like Xanadu, you had both. You had songs that you saw Olivia Newton-John perform in the movie, but then you had the ELO. It was almost like score music, like temp music not temp music, but this it was
Yeah,
actually kind of
music and
scoring
scenes, yeah.
the film with
Yep.
and playing in the background, and
Yep.
so that was a nice touch there. And then they're thinking of something else, like
was
with Purple Rain is like.
Yeah.
It's a
Kind of a
story
musical
about
as
his
well.
life,
Yeah.
right? But it's not like he's taking all the like greatest hits songs. Like this is all original composition specifically for this project, but yet it's a story about his life. So it's his most personal, and yet it's all brand new music, which is was something.
Yeah, kind of loosely based on his life.
Right.
We've got a question. There's a movie about a guy. The guy's a nerd and he lives in Kanab, Utah. Anybody know what that is? And while you're pondering that one, which action star has a cameo in Breaking? Which action star? I don't know.
Oh, that's a good one, Sean. I don't.
Is it Chuck Norris?
Could it be?
Do you know something about Chuck Norris, Eric?
What do I know about Chuck Norris?
Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. Chuck Norris pushes the earth down.
Oh, is that the thing? There's a whole book on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He's got the book open. And he's waiting.
Chuck Norris does not do push-ups. Chuck Norris pushes the earth. Which action star has a cameo in Breakin'? Okay, that was the early 80s, right? Or mid-80s was Breakin'?
Yeah.
Oh, Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, of course. There's a screening of Napoleon Dynamite near me with John Heder, Pedro, Efren, can't think of his last name, and John Grease as Uncle Rico. They're all going to be there at the Tarrytown Music Hall screening the film and then doing a Q&A.
Oh, that's cool.
Jean-Claude Van Damme? No.
Van Damme. That's
No,
what I was going to say.
Was that too early? Wasn't that before Van Damme got big though? Van Damme didn't get big until like Kickboxer. Ray's correct. It was the muscles from Brussels.
Maybe it's before he got popular. Maybe that's the thing. It's like
What?
Right.
And here's a little piece of trivia if you didn't know it. Jean-Claude Van Damme was the original Predator. And it wasn't working. It wasn't the costume they had on him looked like a bug
because he's too short.
It wasn't working out. He wasn't happy with it. The producers weren't happy with how it was looking, so they scrapped him. Got Stan Winston, Kevin Peter Hall, who's a really tall gentleman.
Yeah.
And the rest is movie history. You need somebody bigger than Arnold. You can't have like Jean-Claude Van Damme who's shorter.
That's right. And by the way, if you anybody's seen Prey, if you haven't seen it, go see it, go watch it. It's fantastic. I
gotta watch Prey.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. So
Lost Boys hit me in all the feels all the time. Interview with the Vampires also great. Just preferred Lost. Yeah, two different vibes, right? Lost Boys is all 80s. It's got that feel to it. It's got that, whatever it is, whatever the 80s
teenage
thing is.
vampires, man.
There's
nothing, more succinct than that and to try to, capture that demographic of teenagers, but it was sexy, but at the same time the vampires were also evil. They were, so you had a little bit of the both worlds there. So
since Ray Fry guessed Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sean's no longer impressed with that. He would have been more impressed, Ray, if you knew it rather than guessing it. For Sean, you have to know it. A shot in the dark apparently isn't going to cut it. So, yeah. And if you're just joining us or you haven't heard, we're going to be giving away a copy of Top Gun on Blu-ray, and we're going to be giving away a copy of Beverly Hills Cop, the original one, on Blu-ray. In 2 weeks, what are we doing, Eric? We're going to do Trivia Night 3?
That's right.
Trivia Night 3?
That's what we're doing. Yep.
Return of the Trivia.
We're
going to do that. So we'll have that. We'll have 3 rounds of great trivia fun. We'll always have I'm thinking instead of a music and movies, we do like a TV sitcoms round or something like that. We'll mix it up a little.
Why not?
Or TV shows round instead of the music and movies. We'll kind of use the third round as like a specific kind of fun genre to do. So I think we'll do, Eric and I'll get together. We'll figure it out.
Of course, we're always open to ideas as well from you folks. So whatever.
Are we going to vote on the best? Can we? Is it possible? Is it possible to vote on the best? All right, let me run through a couple then.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to run through some of the popular ones. I have them written down.
Yeah, I have a few.
Let's take the Pepsi challenge with it then. Since we're in the 80s, let's take the Pepsi challenge. I'm going to roll through some of these and then put your vote in. And if you want to put in a wild card, you can certainly do that as well. So we're going to go with, I'm going to pick 5. I don't know. Let's pick out of the 5, right? And John DeGoog talked, someone else mentioned The Big Chill. I have it on my list. We didn't get to talk about it, but it was all older songs. That's why it was kind of all the 60s stuff, the Vietnam era generation, and that kind of thing. But here we go. I'm going to pick 5. We'll go with Back to the Future, Xanadu, Top Gun, Dirty Dancing, and Beverly Hills Cop. Back to the Future, Xanadu, Top Gun, Dirty Dancing, Beverly Hills Cop. Which one was the best soundtrack out of those? And then maybe we'll whittle it down from there. Back to the Future, Xanadu, Top Gun, Dirty Dancing, and Beverly Hills Cop. Which was the best soundtrack of the 80s out of those? Because I think those are the ones we talked about the most.
Mm-hmm.
Put your vote in the chat. If you choose Xanadu, I'll give you an extra name on the wheel. No.
Maybe a ding of the bell. There you go. Heavy Metal was another great soundtrack, by the way. That was another great.
Yes, we didn't even talk about that, but yeah, and that was all original music as well.
Yep.
All right, we've got votes coming in, and it's a wide spread. Interesting. But I'm seeing that's hard. No, that was a Who album. Or no, it's hard. What are you gonna do?
It's a tough one. It is a tough one.
Choose between Back to the Future, Xanadu, Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop, or Dirty Dancing. If you have to pick one of those to listen to as like your de facto movie soundtrack in your collection, that's the only one you're getting from the 80s, which is it going to be? We'll wait. We'll give a couple more seconds, and then we'll start to wrap things up. We'll give away some stuff. Interesting. Ray, thank you very much. Ray's heading out. Thank you very much, Ray. Thank you as always. I'm going to email you real soon, get your schedule, and we're going to get you on for a special episode. I'm not going to tell everybody what it's going to be, but we've got a very special episode we're working on with Ray Fry. We want to get him in. We want to get him behind a microphone.
Yep.
Another 30 seconds. Another 30 seconds. And then we'll shut it down. Oh boy, wow. This is shocking, Eric. Do you see what I'm seeing?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's unexpected. Wow. Kev says Dirty Dancing as well from Cat Kelly. Interesting. Okay, we're going to go with this. Apparently no one listened to a word I said because we got one vote for Xanadu. So I don't understand what's going on here. But the winner, by a landslide, if what I'm looking at is correct, by a landslide, Dirty Dancing is your favorite soundtrack of the 80s. Wow.
Certainly was one of the biggest.
Wow.
Yep.
Dirty Dancing, it looks like Back to the Future and Beverly Hills Cop were tied for second. But Dirty Dancing most popular, but Back to the Future. So we'll leave that. Dirty Dancing, that's not Daredevil. Since I own Dirty Dancing and none of the others have to go with Dirty Dancing. Number 1, Dirty Dancing, Back to the Future, right? Casey Bauer, Dirty Dancing. Elizabeth Berg, Dirty Dancing. Wow. We should have just done an episode about Dirty Dancing because I didn't realize how...
Well, we will now.
Popular. Yeah.
We're going to do it. We got some people who are interested.
Sings Hungry Eyes. By Eric Carmen.
Yeah.
Pick another 5, then go head to head. All right. I've got another 5, and then we'll close it out. Then we'll let you guys go. It's been a long day for everybody. I know it's probably hot if you're in the New York area, so we're going to close it out. But let's do. All right, so we'll take Dirty Dancing out of it, and then we'll add 2. We'll take 2 out. So we'll take Dirty Dancing out and Xanadu out since those were the least popular. How's that? And we'll add 2 in. So we're going to do Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop, Purple Rain, or Breakfast Club. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop, Purple Rain, or The Breakfast Club. We'll do 4. Love me some Swayze. He was good in Ghost. Sam Wheat.
Yeah.
Sam Wheat.
Roadhouse. Come on,
Top
man.
Gun, Beverly Hills Cop, Purple Rain, or Breakfast Club. But Dirty Dancing was like the king. But this will be for runner-up. Should we give away a copy of Dirty Dancing on Blu-ray instead?
I think so. Maybe we should do that instead of Beverly Hills Cop.
Well, if Beverly Hills Cop comes in second,
Wow.
that is very interesting. I did not know.
You're just disappointed it wasn't Xanadu.
No, I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Please do not make Roadhouse. I think they are remaking Roadhouse.
Yeah. Apparently. With Jake Gyllenhaal in the lead.
Oh wow. We just did an episode with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Uh-huh.
You don't have a Blu-ray player. We'll get you the DVD then. Second place. Let's see. 2 for that, 2 for that, 3 for that, 4 for that. It's okay. We have a clear winner. We have a clear winner for second place. Out of Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop, Purple Rain, and Breakfast Club, your choice was Purple Rain.
Yeah. I would have picked Purple Rain myself.
Purple Rain.
Yep.
Purple Rain. So how about we do this? We're going to give away a copy. We're going to leave Top Gun in. I think everybody likes Top Gun. We'll sub out Beverly Hills Cop for Dirty Dancing.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Yeah.
Right? We're making an executive decision. So everybody's on the wheel of names. We're going to get to this now. We're going to get everybody out of here. So we're going to give away a copy. Instead of Beverly Hills Cop, we'll give a copy away of Top Gun. It's going to be the Heartthrobs. It's going to be the Heartthrobs episode. You're going to get Tom Cruise and Patrick Swayze. Both of them take their shirts off. There you go. I don't know what else you want from us. What else do you want? We're going to do it for you.
He's like, yay.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah, Dirty Dancing.
So we'll do Dirty Dancing. We'll do Top Gun. So I'm going to pull up the wheel of names. Make sure that your name is on it. One more time, though, before we go. Tomorrow's episode, I can't stress this enough. It was a great episode. It was a lot of fun to do. We had a lot of laughs.
Great roundtable discussion.
Yeah,
yes.
a lot of fun. Yeah. A lot of fun. Check out Raiders of the Lost Ark tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Raiders of the Lost Ark tomorrow.
Yep.
Definitely check out episode 83. We are quickly going towards episode 100. We'll get there. I don't know if we'll get there, but we might get there before the end of the year. It's going to be close. It's going to be close, but I think we'll do it. All right, let me pull up the wheel of names. Let's get that shared on our screen. And we'll do that. Let's share our screen. And Chrome tab, wheel of names. Just make sure also, as always, please check my math. Make sure your name is on the wheel of names. Make sure you're there. We've got Kelly, Kerry, Sean, Ray, Casey, Zach, Elizabeth, Dwight, John DeGoog, Kat, Mark, Susan, and Beth. Did we miss anybody?
I think Kat's representing the entire Kelly family.
Dwight is still saying Vision Quest with 6 top songs. Let's just acknowledge that for a moment.
Yes, Dwight.
Only the Young by Journey. Don Henley, Red Rider, John Waite, the song Change, Madonna, Gambler. You got Dio, Sammy Hagar, Crazy for You by Madonna. Hot Blooded is a redo though, right? Hot Blooded was not originally for that, but still, Lunatic Fringe by Red Rider. Mm-hmm. Dwight's making a strong case for that.
It is a great soundtrack.
Dwight is making a strong. I love the song Only the Young. What's that?
The movie, on the other hand, is another matter. But
well, Linda Fiorentino, you can't go wrong with. Yeah. Matthew Modine, is everybody's name on here? Totes, Dwight. If your name, speak now or forever hold your peace. We're going to be giving away, first we'll give away Top Gun, and then we'll give away Dirty Dancing. Okay, we will send that to you via Amazon, so you will need to get me your address so I can send it to you. So if you do win, you need to message us on our 3324 Facebook page. Don't put it in a post. Give us a message with your address, and we will get it out to you directly. And as always, thank you. Soundtrack is known more than the flick. Yeah, in that case, it is Vision Quest. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. A lot of fun. Fun. As always, a blast. And we've got Trivia 3 coming in 2 weeks. So and we should have some more people joining. I was advocating heavily today for people to come. So
a lot of great faces tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love it. I love the mix of people. I love the conversation. I love the chat. I love putting the chats up. How many shuffles do we want to give?
Let's do 5.
5 shuffles.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 13 entries, but we've got 15 people here. Who did we miss? Kat, Susan. Didn't get... I got Susan. Who are we missing? Mark?
We have Elizabeth.
Oh, we didn't get Mark.
And Beth. Do we have
We
Beth?
didn't get Mark. Yeah, we got Elizabeth and Beth.
Okay.
Zach. Casey. Ray. Did we get Ray? Yeah, we got Ray, John. All right, that's 14. We're still short somebody. That's weird. Dwight? Got Dwight. He was like one of the first ones in. I don't want to miss somebody. That would be horrible to do. Unless someone's lurking. If you're lurking, you need to put your name in the chat, otherwise you can't win.
John D.
I got Mark. I got John.
Okay.
Mark in yellow twice. Yeah, why is that?
Yeah, you got Mark twice.
Oh yeah, who's in the beginning? There we go. But now we're still down. We're down 2. All right. Well, speak now. Mark, I tried to hook you up, but someone ratted me. I tried to do a little family.
Hey,
I tried to
Beth
do a little
did it
family
first.
thing. I tried to get the
Beth
family
did it
thing.
first.
I tried to do a family help out. They caught it.
You got Carrie on there. Yeah, there you go. Where did he go? Christy's not on, is she? No. I lost Dean. So, Dean disappeared along with the wheel.
Hello, do we still have everybody?
There he is. What
Yeah,
happened?
I don't know what happened. I don't know. We lost everybody.
Did the wheel fall apart?
There we go. Everybody's back.
I greased
think.
it. I oiled it up.
I'm back. If you're here.
Dean is back.
I don't know what happened. We lost everybody.
I heard it like a dong, and then you just
Yeah,
disappeared.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Dean made a run for
it. There we go. There was some weird glitch. Everybody hang in there. I didn't try and duck out. We got no problem giving prizes away.
Yeah.
I swear to you, we got no problem doing it.
Never.
All right, we're going to do it. So Eric said 5. We're going to get this done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before we have any other issues. Yeah, have another drink. Thanks.
He's calling you out.
It's not that. But Sean, I am getting into the danger zone. You're absolutely close. I'm getting close. Okay, so we're going to do Top Gun, and then we're going to do Dirty Dancing Blu-rays or DVD, or we'll get the combo for you. So here we go. We did 5 clicks, and here it comes. Our first.
Well, the wheel is not showing.
Yep, I got to put it on there. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Whoops, I lost it. Hang on. Share, screen, Chrome tab, wheel of names. Boom. Close. Boom. Share. There we go. Okay, we're ready. We're going to do 5 shuffles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. For a copy of Top Gun on Blu-ray, the winner is
Kat.
Kat Kelly.
Yes.
Kat Kelly's taking home a copy of Top Gun on Blu-ray. Please reach out to us. Hit me up on our Facebook fan page. Give me your address. Okay, we'll send that out to you. We do have to remove you though, because you already won.
Congratulations, Kat. The Kelly
Congratulations,
clan.
Kat.
Yes.
Congratulations, Kat. How many shuffles are we gonna do?
Oh, I don't know. Let's do 10 with this one.
10.
Why not?
Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is for a copy of Dirty Dancing. We've got some congratulations coming in, so we want to recognize those on Blu-ray or DVD. If my sister wins, we'll get her a DVD, or we'll get her a digital copy. Okay, here we go.
Well,
for a
if
copy
Kelly
of...
wins, we get the 4K.
You wish. Dirty Dancing. Copy of Dirty Dancing is Mark.
There
He's
it
going to
is.
get a copy of Dirty Dancing. So he won anyway. We remove him there. Thank you very much. Kat Kelly, you're going to get a copy of Top Gun on Blu-ray. Mark, you're going to get a copy of Dirty Dancing on Blu-ray. So congratulations to all. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this episode of the 3324 podcast. Hopefully you had a really great time. We have a lot of fun doing this. We love when people come up. The greatest thing, we're going to ask one thing: share it. If you can get more people to join us, it's going to be a lot of fun, especially when we have trivia coming up. Please, if you can share the heck out of our posts, get people coming. Thank you, Sean, as always. If you want to hear, everybody sees Sean in the chat. If you want to hear what Sean sounds like, check out our episode tomorrow, Raiders of the Lost Ark, because you can actually hear what he sounds like.
Yes, he will.
And
yes,
Casey, thank you for joining us. It's been a while. We appreciate you coming in.
Always a pleasure, sir. Yep.
Mark's wife will be very happy. Mark may not be as happy that he's got to sit through Dirty Dancing, but this is how it works. But thank you, Kerry. Ciao. Thanks to everybody. Kerry. Kat Kelly is a big winner, so congratulations, and Mark. And that's going to do it for this episode of the 3324 podcast. For Eric, this has been Dean. We'll see you on the flip side.
You've been listening to the 3324 podcast with Dean Legiro and Eric Kuber. You can find us on your favorite podcast provider, so please like, subscribe, and rate to become a part of the 3324 family. Your feedback is important, so make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at 3324 podcast and on Twitter at 3324p to join the conversation.